Okay, so this is the day I become unhoused, and so this is the evening. So it's shortly after 6. And this is the morning when I had the stern talking to that. Oh, that felt like I was getting punched in the solar plexus and had me doubled over, and then I had the privilege to go to the park and to reveal the way I was feeling, and to reveal that experience, and to provide you with insight into my thought process and how I handle these situations in this moment, and to provide some value to these videos and so we can all learn from it. And it's anyways, so it is now at the end of the day, it's in the evening, and it's amazing. Like, I can't even remember how I felt this morning. So if you ask me, how did you feel this morning after, the talk that your father had with you, I'd say, well, I remember he was very stern, and I remember, it was just more of one of those normal conversations where it's like I just feel him trying to dominate me, and in just a very aggressive, but not loud, but an aggressive voice, or a voice that has like inner tension or inner unresolved tension, and it makes things very difficult. So there's a lot to learn from this. And I remember faintly like how I felt. I faintly recall how I felt overall. I would just say it was uncomfortable. And I think this, just this right here and this right now, this recording, just these thoughts, they reveal how, I love using the word transient, and I feel like I might be overusing it now, but how transient like our emotions can be. And so I don't fully remember the impact of that conversation. I don't fully remember, the details of the aggression. I don't fully remember the inner details of what I experienced and how I felt, when I went to the park. I really don't fully remember any of those things. So if I reviewed one of those videos, it would be, and it will be, something that I'm going to learn from, and something that would be, I guarantee I would be a little, maybe a little taken aback as to like exactly how I felt, and but I will think, oh yeah, yep, I did feel that deeply about it, but it'll take that recount to jog my memory and to remind me just how unpleasant it was. So I say this to remind and just to encourage everyone to keep an honest journal detailing different things that you go through when you're walking with the Lord and these attacks come in. There's so much to learn, but they're really hard to learn in the moment, because oftentimes we try to escape the moment. It can be highly uncomfortable. And the truth and the reality that I've learned is, when you start facing, first and foremost, your insecurities, but then these attacks, you don't shrink back from the Spirit that's trying to rule over you. The Holy Spirit will envelop you. And when the Holy Spirit envelops you, it's like the dominion of the Holy Spirit is over you. So you can just sit and you can listen in spite of the anger and aggression that's coming from the heart before you. And then you can actually try to, understand, what the issue is, or at least collect information. This is highly, highly beneficial. Say if you're at work and you have a boss that's doing this. I know that I've shared these things with many with a few friends that I really respect, and they're very very respectable, and they have a really wonderful reputation. So I go to them, and I've learned to, bring up certain scenarios and situations to them to ask them for their insight, because it wasn't until after I received Jesus that I started thinking, oh my goodness, I believe I've been lied to the entirety of my life. Like, oh my goodness, could this be abuse that's even coming from my parents? And so I would just ask them. So because I was, there's been so much abuse, I've been exposed to so much abuse and extreme abuse, I realized there's a lot of things that I just simply tolerate as normal. And the more I start to talk with others, I realize, oh goodness, these things are not only not normal, but they're unacceptable. And no wonder, I feel deflated. No wonder I feel drained. No wonder I have all these different, no wonder I used to experience all these different issues. And I remember talking with one friend in particular, and I shared a story at work, and he said, he's like, if that happened to me, he's like, first and foremost, I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's not right. But if that happened to me, it wouldn't happen again. I would have gotten up, and I wouldn't even went to my supervisor. That's so blatantly aggressive. I would have went right to human resources, and I would actually refuse to work with that person from there forth. And I remember thinking, oh my goodness, this happens to me all the time. So there's going to be those of you that are part of the vulnerable population. I think this is really wise information for all of us, because now we can understand, and it provides insight into why certain personalities might tolerate certain things or even feel those things are acceptable, and then other personalities who grew up, in a loving, in a nurturing environment, these things would be completely intolerable. And I noted that the folks that don't tolerate these things, or the personalities that don't tolerate these things, those personalities that do these things aren't as aggressive to them. If they want to attack them, they usually do it, behind, covertly. They're usually more passive aggressive. But the ones that simply just shrug it off, they get attacked quite a bit. So, anyways, I feel like this, just the recording, real time, and the transparency from this morning, my current thoughts now. So this would be, we'll say less than 12 hours later, just reveal how easy it is to be picked on in private, and then how impactful, certain words or certain personalities can try to dominate you. And then, you go and you get away from it, and you heal up, and and then throughout the day, it's like you forget all those things. You forget that it happened, or at least to the degree that it happened, and you're unaware of the impact that it had on you. I think this is really, really valuable information. And as I was saying too, for those of you that are at work and these things might be happening to you, and from a boss or supervisor, I think it's really wonderful that these things are brought up to the surface in the form of case scenarios, because I found oftentimes if you go to your supervisor, or if you go to HR about these things, it can become a he said, she said, or he said, or it's your word against theirs. And if you're somebody who's new, it can make it seem like you're actually the one who's stirring up problems. So I would love to say that these things, when you bring them up, they're always handled correctly, but I haven't experienced that. But what I have noted is the more I talk about these things with men and women that I have noted have high amounts of integrity, and they're a very good character. I note it when you talk to them about these things, especially in a professional setting. Every one of them will say, no, this should not be tolerated. And so this this can also shed light onto the reality of these things occurring, and and this can inspire conversations to to address these things. So this is the first video, and we'll do a few more.